Jacksonville State head coach John Gross, after their game was postponed last week, Jacksonville State will finally open the spring portion of their season. That's on Sunday when they host number 23 Tennessee Tech. JSU is up to 16 in the poll after their performance from the fall non-conference season. So, Coach, just thoughts on your team. Thought they were going to play, and then had to wait one more week to play.
Yeah, I was kind of disappointed we didn't get to play, but I understand the weather issues and the field, not being playable this weekend. So we're looking forward to this week, and then we got the built-in makeup, the last week's game later on. So it all works out, and our guys are ready to play. Of course, like I said, they were disappointed not getting to play, and you're anticipating that game coming up, and then you find out you're not playing. But, we kind of handled that situation as well as we could getting into this week and looking forward to playing at home against a very good opponent. I thought that was a great ball game with Tech and P this weekend. Two teams just battled down to the wire, right to the end. It was pretty much the last second of the game. But like I said, you could just tell both teams, played really well.
Now your team was ready to play last week, but it's a different opponent now, obviously, but does an extra week help you work out anything that you hadn't gotten to work out previously?
Well, I don't think it helps. I mean, I think everybody, battled last week, well, really the last week and a half, trying to get practices in with all the bad weather. And it was not as bad here as I know for everybody north of us, with all the snow and the ice and everything. It was just really cold and windy, for us, but just to pray up and get through those times and keep your team moving in the right deal. I think probably a little bit of a negative because, Tech has gotten to play a full game. They played 4 quarters. So you always worry about that. We had that situation in the fall where Florida State had actually played 2 games before we played them, and I've never played a game like that in my career. So you always kind of worry about a team that has already played a game and you hadn't played a game, because it's something that we all talk about in coaching is game shape, and it's hard to create. So, when a team's got a full quarter game, it's not like they went in there and played a half. I mean, they had to play the final second of the game, so they got 4 quarters in. And, it's just hard to replicate that in practice. So our guys have got to be able to handle that and catch up there. So the negative is, you practice and you take a day or 2 off. How you handle, the basically what turned into Wednesday with us with the cancellation of the game was an open week, and how you handle that without even playing a game first. So, like I said, I think that's been difficult, but I think we're ready to go, and our guys are excited this week.
We talked last week, you didn't know much about teams as it had been a year and a half. So let's talk a little bit more about Tennessee Tech. They obviously jumped into the rankings this week. I think opportunistic would probably be a word. They made some really plays and turned the game around the second half. What did you see from watching the tape?
Well, I mean, Coach has done a great job. I mean, just rebuilding that program and to come from where they were to where they are now, just a solid football team. That's what you can say. So the positive, I think for us not playing last week is, we did get some fresh tape on them where everybody's got 4 games on us from the fall. Now we're getting to see, what their team's like. And, very much what I suspected, building off the year before. I thought they, just came a long way for their talent level, the way their players look and play the game. They're well coached. I mean, as always, they're going to be in the right spots on defense. They're going to be very fundamental blocking on offense. They tackle well. And those are the things, they're a fundamental football team. And I think that's what won the game for them on Sunday, against P. They made very few mistakes. I think it started 6 drives on, P side of the field. So they created turnovers in the special teams and on defense, and gave our offense opportunities. And I think they didn't do things to get themselves beat. They did things to win the game. And that's what you look for in a good football team. So I think, like I said, they're a solid football team. You got to line up and play a solid, not mistake-free. Nobody's going to play mistake-free, but you got to play. You make a lot of mistakes, they're going to beat you, so you can't beat yourself in that game. And they do a good job of letting you beat yourself. So I think it's a tribute to Coach Alexander and what they've done there.
Now, you are used to like Cooperzion Webb. You've had some quarterbacks who are multi-threat. Bailey Fisher, for them, is that. Now, he was sacked 6 times, so his rushing totals skewed because of that, but he threw for a touchdown. He had before the tackles for almost 50 yards or rushing or whatever. So talk about what he's seen, because you've obviously seen him in the past couple of years.
No doubt. I mean, he's just a winner. That's what you can say about him. He finds ways to beat you. He's not a game manager. I mean, he manages the game really well. He's got all those attributes as a quarterback, but he's just a competitor. And you see it in the way he plays. He's going to get the tough yards. When he runs a football, he's very good at that, and just does an exceptional job with taking the game, not turning the ball over, making throws. He's got a really good arm. He's really accurate. So, he can throw the ball down the field. So he can throw the long ball. He does a good job of distributing the ball through their, to their backs, to the receivers and tight ends. So they got a good package of what they're doing with him. And like I said, he's just a winner.
And this question got asked to Coach Hood too. Special teams are obviously important any time of the year. We're playing in a season that's, the weather may be different than you're used to at the beginning of the season. You haven't had as much practice as you would like, but so how have you worked with your special teams, especially kicking and punting? It seems it's really important in that Tech Austin P game, but it's going to be important in every game you play. So how have you worked with your all special teams to make sure if that's the difference in the game, they're ready?
Well, it definitely was a difference in that game, Sunday for sure, a big difference. And I tell our team all the time, special teams either can win games for you or they're going to get you beat. So we think we spend as much time or more time than anybody else does on special teams. So we try to get as many live reps as we can, but yet, work a lot of fundamentals, during our specialty periods. And like I said, we just get a lot of work at it, and our kickers and punters are doing a really, really nice job right now. And I think our coverage units, which is where can get you beat in a hurry. I think we're deep there, deeper than what we've probably been in the last couple of years. With guys that are going to run down and make plays on those kicking coverage units. So, and I think we got some dynamic returners. I mean, they're a little bit young, but I think you'll see them, play well. And this, hopefully, you want to get a snap, and we got some of that in the fall. So we answered a lot of questions, special teams wise, in the fall. So that's where the 4 games for us came into play. You lose a guy like Josh Brady off our special teams that, snapped for 4 years and never had I don't even know if he had a snap that was off, right, or left. I mean, he's just automatic. And from the time he was a freshman, he graduated. That's one of the biggest fears as a coach. I've had times where you're sitting over, you're holding your breath, just hoping you get the snap to the punter and we get the ball off. But so to replace him was a big thing. And I think we answered those questions in the fall. We're good there. And I think we got a dynamic kicker that is really good and pay dividends in the fall. So like I said, I think we're solid there, but you just don't know till you play. I mean, I think one of the biggest things that Tech did, they snapped the ball, punted the ball well, their kicking game was well. So I think the coverage units did a really nice job. So a lot of times, most of the times, that's the difference in ball games, especially when they're close.
And a last question to follow up, because what you did against FIU back in the fall, the field goals, that was a game where special teams won you that game against an FBS opponent. So as you referenced it, you obviously had figured out some things with special teams in the fall.
Definitely. We're excited to have the kicker we have. He does a good job, kicking the football, got a strong leg, and he did win that game for us. You're glad that we're kind of automatic during the game, all the field goes, but it was on the other side of that, if we'd have scored in the red zone, that game wouldn't have been close at the end, if we scored touchdowns instead of kicking field goals. But like I said, we know now that when we cross a certain point on field, we got a chance to make a field goal. That hadn't always been the case for us.
Well, Coach, thanks for your time this morning, and best of luck this weekend.
Hey, thanks a lot. Appreciate it.